On today's wrestling news, a huge challenge is laid out for WrestleMania.
Are WWE considering adding a new member to the Bloodline?
AEW had to double check about a certain spot on Dynamite.
And the latest on John Cena's WrestleMania 40 status.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? My name is Phil Chambers and joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling news. But first up, last night on SmackDown, there was a big segment, a really long segment. It was a fun segment, but it was half an hour of the show, of The Rock and the Bloodline coming out talking about Cody's challenge that he issued on Raw. Like, obviously, Cody challenged The Rock to a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, and then, like, Seth Rollins kind of came in and was like, oh, it won't be one-on-one, I'll have your back kind of thing. But they're continuing on down this line, because The Rock was out there, and he laid out a challenge to Cody and Seth on night one of WrestleMania. He basically just noped Cody's idea of a one-on-one match completely. He's just like, nah, not doing that. And instead, he called out for the tag team match of Seth and Cody versus The Rock and Roman Reigns on night one of WrestleMania. But there is a big stipulation attached to it, which I think actually makes this a lot more interesting. And I think there's a couple of ways that they could go from it. So, if Cody and Seth win the match, then the Bloodline will be banned from ringside on Sunday night. Every member of the Bloodline banned from the Cody versus Roman match. It'll be one-on-one, Cody getting a chance to finish his story sort of on his terms kind of deal. But if The Rock and Roman Reigns win that match on night one, then it's Bloodline rules, which, as far as you can tell, is basically just no DQ, and pretty much every member of the Bloodline will be there to try and screw over Cody. So now that this has kind of happened, I genuinely don't know which direction they will go. They've obviously done the one-on-one match with Cody and Roman at last year's WrestleMania, but there was still shenanigans in there. So do they try and do that again but do it clean, or do they just go absolute WWE overbooking craziness for the main event of WrestleMania and go all the Bloodline in there, Cody and Roman, get The Rock in there, and then all of Cody's friends, obviously maybe like a Sami Zayn and like Jey Uso could come out, and whoever else is on Cody's side in this kind of thing, and just do a big chaotic main event for night 2 of WrestleMania. But it's very exciting to see where they'll go with that. And the rest of this promo was, like I say, very long and mostly just The Rock calling out Felix for being crackhead. But the most interesting part of all of that, I think, other than the big stipulation added to the match, obviously, is right at the end, and The Rock went to do the "if you smell," and then Roman stopped him, grabbed his hand, and he's like, I've got something to do first. You've got to acknowledge me. And Roman Reigns made The Rock acknowledge him on national TV, and The Rock acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. And then he did the "if you smell," and then passed the mic over to Roman Reigns to finish it off with what the Bloodline is cooking. So The Rock acknowledged Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. Possibly the first thing towards maybe The Rock screwing him over at some point if Roman starts getting a little bit tribal chiefy all over him. But we'll have to wait and see. But mainly it's this huge stipulation added to the tag team match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, just to try and break this up, I'd say with the whole Roman stuff, for me, that's probably the most interesting Roman's been throughout this. I'd say over the last couple of weeks, just that new little dynamic of, no, I'm the leader of this whole thing. I'm the captain of this ship. I love that dynamic. I thought it was really compelling. With the stipulations, I don't know how to feel, because they pretty much just hanging a lampshade on the fact that this whole Bloodline stuff for the last couple of years has just been, it's been the wild, wild west, really, hasn't it? And no matter what match you've had, there's going to be shenanigans, and WWE just let them get away with it. Now they're like, oh, we're not going to, we're actually going to do a stipulation here where we're not going to be able to do our typical stuff. And it's like, well, maybe just do a match where that's I don't know. It's just, for me, it always feels like that weird thing where you're maybe just don't book it that way. Every single match is the same, and it's just interference. I don't know. It just that annoyed me, irritated me. It's stupid. It shouldn't have irritated me, but it did. I was just I just don't do that nonsense. But yeah, both options are quite intriguing because, like you said, we could just have an absolute crazy, everyone gets involved. All the people at the Bloodline have screwed over the years, they could get involved and just take out the blood. That could be great. Or personally, I would just because I sat there last night and watched Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes won again, and that match up until the stupid finish was awesome. Those two, the chemistry they've got, it was a hell of a match. So the purist in me just wants to see that again with no shenanigans. Just a clean Cody match, just no nonsense. He just wins the title himself for his dad. And it'd be, yeah, for me, that's what I want out of all this. But it does seem now like we are actually heading towards all that with the Bloodline stuff. Maybe even getting towards the final inning of Bloodline things. Probably not, because apparently WWE are considering adding a new member to the Bloodline. This is all something that went down on the back. Well, it's not gone down yet, obviously, but like the reports and everything have gone down on the back of Tama Tonga, who apparently is on his way to WWE. He's now a free agent, has left New Japan. So there's been a lot of talk over the last week that he is now very much going towards WWE, apparently. And Dave Meltzer has now noted in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that he is being considered in some form down the line, like to join up with the Bloodline, the rest of the Bloodline, because he's pretty much seen as family by the likes of The Rock, like Roman Reigns, the rest of the gang. So it does look like that's going to be something that they'll maybe do with him if he does join up, and it is looking like that's going to be a possibility right now. It's not really known when that will happen. Maybe just after WrestleMania, maybe at WrestleMania, maybe he screws Cody and then we gotta wait another year and all that stuff. I don't know, but it does look like he will be joining up with the Bloodline. Potentially, it is being considered.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously sort of ties to the Bloodline in terms of like them considering him family and things like that, but it's also got ties to Cody in terms of like the Bullet Club and things like that. So there's a lot of history within everyone there with Tama Tonga. I did try and message him and get a scoop, but he's keeping his cards close to his chest.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just going to say, he just turned around and went, "No, screw you, Phil."
He's being very vague with his answers. Damn you. Give me a scoop, damn it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know quite how to feel about cheering on someone who once tried to choke me out at a press conference thing. So,
you can see why. You can see why, but he probably had his reasons. Let's be honest. And
his dad almost tried to kill us. But no, this is really good for Tama Tonga. He's worked his ass off for ages. So it'd be good to see him on a big platform like WWE. And yeah, huge congratulations if this is actually happening. And we'll have to get you back on the channel, Tama, to hopefully not choke us out or try and get your dad to murder us. Something a little bit nicer, maybe.
Oh, maybe do that again. Just stick with the concept, Phil. It'd just be good.
Yeah,
good
that's true.
Yeah.
Think of the clicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving over to AEW and a certain spot on Dynamite this week, and Sting obviously coming down from the rafters, like his iconic spots from WCW. It was a great moment on the thing, but obviously AEW have a very close-knit relationship with Martha Hart and the Owen Hart Foundation, and obviously we know what happened to Owen Hart from a kind of similar spot when he fell very unfortunately to his death in 1999. Now apparently this is coming from Fightful Select. Tony Khan reached out to Martha Hart to check with her and get her blessings before doing this spot to make sure that she was okay with it, that the Hart family was okay with it, and it was being done in sort of good taste and good faith and isn't sort of, shine a light on Owen Hart or anything like that. It's just a moment for Sting kind of thing. And she gave it her blessing to allow them to do it. And it seems like they wouldn't have done it if they didn't get her blessing. So they did check with her first. Now, the Sting spot obviously was iconic from WCW, but as soon as the Owen Hart thing happened, they kind of stopped doing it quite a lot. They did it once in 2000 in WCW, but that was it after the Owen Hart thing. The only other time Sting's done it, which is quite interestingly, was back in TNA at Slammiversary in 2007. So he's only done it sort of twice since the Owen Hart passing, and this is like the final thing. But in terms of just a throwback to the early days of Sting and the sort of the emotions that invokes, I think it was a great moment on Dynamite. But they did the right thing to check with Martha Hart and the Owen Hart family to make sure they were doing the right thing with it.
Yeah, that is great to hear. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's obviously such a sensitive spot. Can you call it a spot? You know, it's just, there's a lot attached to it. So massive respect to AEW for just running it by you, just saying we don't want to blindside you, just don't want to catch you off guard with it. Hey, what do you think? Like, and it's just ensuring the safety of everyone as well. Like it sounds like they're doing it the right way, and it was an awesome moment. It was a great moment. It was so unexpected in the best way. And great for Sting. And what tomorrow's the last one. I'm not ready. I'm so not ready. It's going to be emotional, but let's hope it's just as iconic as the rest of his AEW run's been and his career in general, because the guy's a legend. The guy's a legend. Speaking of legends, John Cena, the man who can't be seen. Well, we need to talk about whether he is going to be seen at WrestleMania, because Dave Meltzer, again in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, just started talking about like John Cena and the fact that there have been talks of him potentially showing up at the show of shows this year in Philadelphia. But right now, it's looking like it's basically up to his acting schedule and if there is something going on as to whether he's going to be there or not. So if he has got something going on, if he is shooting something, he could still appear, but he's probably not going to do anything that's deemed a risk or like that just could injure him. So he's probably not going to be doing a 30-minute classic and jumping off a ladder. Ugh, I know, it looked like he was, but that's apparently not. And on top of that, they've said that if this does come together, like the appearance does happen, the idea is to do something fun, short, and memorable, and with substance. So I feel like it's probably going to be closer to like the Doctor of Thugonomics thing at WrestleMania 35, or the Quick Undertaker match at 34. That sort of stuff. Just a big, wow, that's a moment with a capital M, and then bye, see you later. Let's carry on with the rest of the show. So I'm happy with that. I think that'd be quite cool. Just a little appearance from Cena. Doesn't have to take up a whole lot of time. Whatever he wants to do, really, right now. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, obviously it's WrestleMania 40. It's a pretty big time. It's going to be like one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. It makes sense just to get him on as a little thing. We'll probably do a few little like extra type things with a few legends. So it makes sense to get him on for something. Just a nice little spot. It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun. But speaking of WrestleMania, you can come see our live show on WrestleMania weekend. We are happening on Sunday, midday, right before night 2 of WrestleMania. So we'll be done long before WrestleMania, and it's within distance to get to the venue, so you'll have plenty of time to get to WrestleMania that night. So come and see us. The venue does food and drink, and we'll be chatting about wrestling, and everyone we'll be doing all the usual shtick. Simon will be doing a why, there'll be a podcast, there'll be a quiz, there'll be loads of good stuff. So come down and get tickets. They are going quite quickly. There's not many left now. So if you've been waiting around, I would start to just buy one, because they're not going to be lasting forever, let's say. whatculture.com/tickets. Always sunny at What Culture. Come and see us do our thing live in Philadelphia. Words.
Do it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. Smashed it, mate.
That's it. Thank you very much for joining us. You can follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at PhilMikeChambers. You can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
And you can click this video to continue your YouTube journey, because YouTube really likes it when you just watch loads of videos.
Yeah.
Have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye-bye.